Hi, I'm Christina Applegate.
And I'm Jamie-Lynn Sigler.
And this is
MeSsy. Welcome to MeSsy. This week, we will be revisiting conversations we've had with three incredible women we have been lucky enough to have on this podcast. Edie Falco, Jean Smart, and Katey Sagal. Enjoy. Well, Edie, I have to tell you, so this podcast is called MeSsy because life is messy, we are messy, but it really came from a place where Christina and I, feel like as women, as we age and we discover that deep, meaningful conversations are where all of our growth and self-acceptance can really come from. And when we would start each conversation with, how are you? We would actually hold the space and feel free to actually say how we were. And there's very many moments in our lives where we don't answer that question truthfully for a myriad of reasons. And so this is that space. This is that place where we say, how are you? And we talk about that. And not to, eat up all of this intro time, but I just want to talk right now and then we'll get through with it. But in my own kind of healing journey, I'm doing this reckoning with my past and trying to understand, what actually happened versus maybe my perception of what had happened. And I know you and I each personally, we all on the show and everybody went through personal things during those 10 years. And for me, there was a divorce and a diagnosis of MS and symptoms starting to show. And I was young and trying to do the best I could and muscling up and showing up to work and not telling anybody what was going on. And I'm so happy to talk to you today as women, because even though you played my mother and you were somebody I look up to, I really feel like now, like we're peers, like we're mothers and actresses and friends. And so I'm so happy to have this conversation with you. But my first question to you is, what was your perception of me during that time?
I saw you as a highly functional, like type A young woman who it's funny, I found myself, there was a distance between you and I when we worked.
Yeah.
It was not on purpose. But I think, first of all, because you had your real mom and your real mom was around. She was she was a figure on set, and I never wanted to, pretend to be more than an actress playing your mother. So there was that, but also you portrayed yourself, not the character, as so competent. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So hardworking, so like that. And the truth is, when I was a kid in high school, I was a weirdo. And, I came from a crazy family, and I felt like everybody could tell that I was a weirdo. And I would meet girls like you, and I was terrified of them. Oh. The ones that they just looked like they knew what was going on. They knew how to be with people. They knew how to function at a high level and always do a good job. And so to be honest with you, since we are all women and at a certain point we all become the same age, mm-hmm. I was intimidated by you.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That is the truth.
That is wild to me, because I was just such a little mess inside. I felt so undeserving of every moment that I was there. I was waiting to be found out that I shouldn't have been there or didn't belong. And I was doing the Artist Way workbook last year. And, in one of the morning pages, it prompted you to write a letter to somebody that inspired you artistically or creatively at a time in your life. And immediately this moment came to my mind. I don't know what season it was, but I'll never forget. I came home, I was going through my divorce, and I came home to my apartment in New York, and I had a message on my answering machine. And it was you, Edie, and you were telling me how well I did in the episode that had just aired that night and how proud of you were of me. And that, I cannot tell you that single moment. I meant to send you the letter. I still have it in my nightstand that I wrote in this workbook because it made me keep going. It was a time where they were calling in acting coaches to the set for me because I couldn't tell anybody what was wrong, but people could tell something was wrong and they didn't know how. And I read this interview with you where I'm so sorry that you, when you were going through breast cancer and you were, a lot of that was, you know, quietly, that Jim called you out and said something's up. And he did the same thing to me.
Wow.
Did the same thing to me. He pulled me aside one day and said, something is wrong and you're not telling anybody. And I need you to, and I did. In that moment, I told him.
Wow.
Yeah. But I have to thank you for that message.
It's funny. You never know, because
You don't.
you see something like, God, that's great. If you take the split second to tell the person that you're thinking, because I don't do it. And I'm sure, it passes. And I thought, we're working together. I gotta at least let this kid know how fucking great that was. And you never think it has any reverberations beyond that. And I'm thrilled to know it's something you remember. I mean, you never know. I did it because I wanted to, not so that it would affect you in a certain way. But
of course. And it's so meaningful to me to have this conversation with you because I think I desperately wanted to be close to you and to everyone, but I just didn't know how. And it was one of those moments where if you wish you could go back and tell yourself, like, people will love you more if you share your heart. And I just was afraid to just be set aside if people would know that I wasn't perfect.
of course, and everybody's there alone in that.
I don't know how either one of you, Edie, I had breast cancer as well and was working at the time. Yeah, in 2008. And, I have MS and all happening while I'm working. And I don't know how both of you, like for me, I had to tell everybody because I'm like, I'm going to be acting like a freako, sobbing in the corner every 20 minutes. Just want you to know that this is what's going on. But I don't know. I don't know. How did you keep your composure through all of it? Because I'm asking you, Edie, and of course you, because I know that when I was going through it and I had my double mastectomy and everything, like I had to go back to work, like only a couple of weeks later, and I'm in incredible pain. And, with MS, I'm falling over. I don't know how you guys could have done it without like letting someone in on it so that you felt protected. I don't know. I think it's incredible.
I have always wished I was able to be like that, where I would tell people, listen, I'm struggling. I'm going to need your help. Or at least you'll know what it is, and maybe we'll have slower work days or whatever. But I come from, you just work and work and work and work. You don't tell people you're struggling.
No, I get that part. Like Married with Children, we were not allowed to speak. It was like, if you asked for an orange juice, someone would be like, you have legs. Like, you could be on your deathbed, 104 fever at work. And they're like, yeah, no, you do that. So I totally get that. I think, I don't know what it is. Like in the last few years, I'm like, you know what? Honestly, it's Jamie a lot. When I found out I had MS and she said, you gotta set boundaries at work because now you can't. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you always had that.
No. That is a very different. That is a very different situation too. Like I knew, or at least I assumed that I was going through something that would have an end. I think I knew at that point it wasn't going to kill me. I had gone through surgeries and all that. I just knew it was going to be painful and messy, perfectly named at that time. And I don't do well when people are like, oh my God, how are you doing? So just, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't function well. I don't know. I'm, thank God I'm in therapy to understand why it's not okay that people know I'm struggling. They probably wouldn't know until I literally fell down and,
Yeah.
I need to go through it without people babying me. I couldn't, I think that would have made it worse for me.
Oh yeah. No, I couldn't have done that either, but it was like, almost like my survival. Like I had to be like, you guys can't hug me. And if I fall into a wall, you can't, you need to know, you know, whatever. But I held so many secrets too. I mean, and I think as a woman female actresses, we're not allowed to say anything because then we're the eye rolling from the male department is pretty big. Yeah. So I totally
want to be hard to work with.
Yeah. You don't want, So I held in, you know, abusive relationships I was going through and, you know, knots on my head. So I get it. But why do we have to do that? What is that thing? Why?
It's so much bigger than us.
I know.
I find, you know, I actually feel like I say I know the answer to that, but I might know a little bit of that answer because I can see with my husband, then when he asks me how I am and I deeply share, he wants to be able to help and handle that, but he can't.
Yeah.
It's really hard, I think, for some men to process your answer.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't want to. He wants nothing more than to help me, but sometimes he's not the one for me to go to because he can't handle that information.
That book that was going around, Women Are From Venus, Men Are From Mars, whatever that movie, that book was, the one interesting overriding point was that oftentimes you just want to share your mind space with someone. Like it would be nice if you know, a man could say, God, that must be so hard. Why don't you just sit against me for a minute and we'll just watch some TV, or let me make dinner or something. Like, I don't want you to fix that problem. You can't fix that problem. I eventually will manage it or will find the person, but can you just listen to the fact that I'm struggling? That's all I want is I want you to know that I'm in that brain space and to occupy it with me. It's this thing about men often wanting to solve it.
Yeah, they want to get their toolbox out. And you're like,
that's not what I'm asking.
Yeah, your solutions suck, by the way. So just let me talk.
Right. That's right. And they want it done and they want it done fast and they want to do it. So it's often easier just not to say anything.
Yeah.
That sucks, bro.
When you think back to The Sopranos, I'm wondering, because whenever I think back to it, it's just all about the personal relationships. It like has nothing to do with the enormity of the show or how people regard it. It's just like, if anything, I just wish I could go back even just for one episode.
I know.
Just, you know, just one day to go back as the person I am now.
Yes.
You know, I
got it. Just one meal scene.
Yes.
But you know, I am a great believer in the order of things being what they are, and it is not ours to know necessarily. And you are given experiences in your life when you're meant to. Mm-hmm. However poorly we may think we handle them at the time, I think that's what it was supposed to be, and maybe so that you can land where you are now with such hindsight, you know. I don't really know, but I know when I've tried to meddle into that, like, you know, and I totally get it. If I wish I could be the person I am now in so many of my past situations, but who's to say I would be the person that I am now if I didn't go through those things then? You know what I mean?
Of course.
But I do wish I could have had my own back in those days when I was feeling less than, and you know, it was a very social atmosphere, one that I did not fit in, you know, and I felt like I just didn't know how to do it or whatever. But in all these years later, I wonder if everybody didn't feel that way in regard, you know what I mean?
I think everyone except Robert. Everyone except Robert. Because Robert's like, he's my hero. I tell him all the time. I was like, give me an ounce of you. He just gives zero fucks. He doesn't care what anybody thinks about him. He doesn't even think about what anybody thinks about him. But I know exactly what you mean. But I can tell Edie, from my perspective and the rumors going on around you and what I would hear, you were our queen. You were untouchable with your talent, which the world knows, but just kind and professional and always there in a scene with everybody. And so whether you felt that way or not, and I understand because I felt that way a lot of the time, that was not the perception of you at all. If anything, you were above us all and we weren't worthy. Edie, as someone who I think we've talked about, like similarly, like how we kind of muscle through some stuff when we get to work, but our work is ourselves, right? Our body, our emotions. How do you possess the freedom that you have in the work? I just always marveled at it. I mean, you made me a better actress when I was across from you. The only reason why I think I ever gave any of the performances I did was because of all of you around me. But there's just this really free, like disarming presence that you bring when you're across from you. And I'm still figuring out how to have that while I'm holding myself personally together. Do you know what I mean?
I do. First of all, those are very, very kind words. I don't want to not say that because it will never not feel great to hear that. So I appreciate that.
Good.
Well, remember, I've got 20 something years on you, I think, that I have been doing this.
Yeah.
And over the years, you start to feel more valuable. You realize I'm still doing this, and there must be something. People are paying me to do this thing, and there must be something effective in it. I don't know what it is. I don't know how you access it. I don't know how to write about it in a book. I don't know. I just know if I take care of my inner life, then I will continue to have access to this thing. So as that becomes, that acceptance becomes fuller and richer in me, that's what I'm carrying to everything I do. You know, it's for those of us who've been through any kind of trauma, family trauma, relationship trauma, trust issues are big, you know, but this is the one thing that really, it can't be taken from me. It's mine, and I nourish it, you know, and it thus far has never let me down. You know, I am getting older, so now I have to wear glasses, you know, to read or whatever, and memorization is getting a little bit harder, but none of that matters because I still have this thing that I friggin' love. And thus far, people continue to pay me for it. So there's a confidence. It's a level of confidence you walk in. I also feel like if I'm in there and I'm not getting the feeling that it's being received in a way that is positive, I no longer feel attached to having to stay. It's like, well, maybe we're not meant to be in the same room. Maybe I'm not supposed to work on this job. And that's cool because I'll get some other job, or I'll work at a freaking restaurant. I don't know, you know, but I'm not attached to the outcome anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's everything.
It probably isn't.
I have a friend who's, you know, wanting to get into this business. I'm like, why? First of all, but yeah. Sometimes she'll have me work on her like stuff with her. And I always say, you've got to have a sense of abandonment. You can't hold on to a plan because it's a ping pong match, man. And then you've got to have abandonment and no sense of attachment to your own self and your own. And that's kind of life too. I feel like that's kind of my life now. Like, I feel like my face, like if someone's talking and I don't like what they're saying, unfortunately, my face makes like you know, like I can't help that I'm so present that, but I love that, you know, I mean, you're so brilliant and you're, you know, such a pleasure to watch. I'm such a geek. Sorry, I'm going to shut up.
Oh, it's lovely. But that is like, when you think about what, you know, if people pray, what do you pray for? And really, I think all I've ever wanted was to manage what's coming at me. You know what I mean? Instead of, you know, deciding what should come at me. I don't know. I've been wrong about everything. Never in my life would I have thought I was worthy of a job like The Sopranos. Mm-hmm. That's had an effect on the landscape of television. For God's sake, I mean, I would never have dared to dream something so big for myself. Oh. So the truth is, when I've stayed out of my own way, the stuff that comes at me is so much grander than anything I would have afforded myself. So I've decided to just sort of sit back, take care of myself, and see what's next, see what comes next. You know, some of it's whatever good, some of it's bad. And then I change my opinions about what's good and bad, but it doesn't matter. It's accepting what's coming at you. That's all I want. That's all I want to be able to do.
Acceptance is everything, right? That's what creates the space.
Totally. Every drop of pain that we experience is because we want things to be a way that they're not. If you think about anything you're in pain about, that's what it is. What if you let it go and see what you have and
Yeah.
And accept it. You have no choice anyway. The sooner you do it, the less pain you'll be in.
Like that joke when people say, want to know how to make God laugh, tell it your plans.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
As the chilly days of fall roll in and the holiday rush begins, it's easy to forget about taking care of yourself. Enter Mudwater, a soothing yet energizing coffee alternative that helps you stay sharp and balanced through the busiest time of the year. It's made from a blend of chai, cacao, and calming adaptogens like lion's mane, reishi, and chaga. Mudwater gives you a natural boost without the crash or coffee jitters. It's like your holiday self-care ritual in a cup. It is packed with antioxidants and wellness benefits that will nourish your body while keeping you centered and clear-headed through the chaos of the season. So as you prepare for the holidays, it's just going to make the perfect stocking stuffer for anyone in need of a little extra self-care. I love every single ingredient in Mudwater products. They are 100% USDA certified organic. They are non-GMO. They are gluten-free. They are vegan. They are kosher. There's also 0 sugar and no sweeteners added. So it makes it a clean, beautiful, wholesome choice for your wellness journey. I love to make mine hot, mix it with a little bit of water. It has this hint of like a hot chocolatey like flavor, and it's giving me the boost and the energy that I need for the entire day. So using Mudwater is as easy as cozying up on a crisp fall afternoon. Head to mudwater.com and grab your starter kit. For a limited time, our listeners get up to 43% off your entire order, free shipping, and a free rechargeable frother at mudwtr.com/MeSsy. That's up to 43% off your order at mudwtr.com/MeSsy. And after your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. This fall, nourish your body and mind with Mudwater, a perfect addition to your self-care routine as the weather cools and the days get shorter.
Our guest today means more to me than most people in my life. She is a phenomenal actress, an incredible human being, a beautiful mother, beautiful wife. She has been around kicking ass for more years than any of us could possibly imagine or hope to still be kicking ass. She is my dearest, my nearest, and my love. She is the very elderly. Hey, I've been around for 50 of those too. My beautiful friend, Jean Smart.
Wow.
Hi, my love, Jean.
Oh, baby girl, love you.
I love you so much. For people that don't know, Jean and I did a show together called Samantha Who with a real bunch of bad actors. Like a real shit show of
not remotely amused.
Talented groups.
Well, you were paying your dues, you got to do that in this business.
Yeah. I mean, Jean and I had to hold it all up together. Just,
Oh my God. Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy, Kevin Dunn, Esposito, Barry Watson. It was a magical time. So that's how Jean and I met, and she's been a part of my life and many New Year's Eves that we spent together over the years that were supposed to end at 9 and would end at 4 a.m. So anyway, there you go, Jean.
Those were good times.
You've been part of so many shows and really important shows and wonderful shows at different times. Is there a recipe you can put your finger on of like what each of those experiences had in common, of like why they are and were what they were?
Yeah, I've just been insanely lucky, but I think I've always tried to make decisions for good reasons. After a while, I had a little bit of a luxury of not having to take something just for the money, which I know is an incredible luxury for actors. But I never wanted to make any decisions based on that. And, I didn't grow up with any money. I didn't, but I just knew that if I went down that road, I was never going to have the career I wanted. But it was always like, is it well-written material? Is it something that I won't embarrass my parents? Is it something that is with really talented, cool people? I've just been constantly amazed still that I'm getting offered these incredible roles.
But they've all had very important like commentary and like important things to say. I find like obviously, especially with Hacks, but when like even designing women, like they were moments for women, and they touched on conversations that people weren't really necessarily willing to have, but needed to.
Yeah, like Mare of Easttown and Watchmen. I mean, two things that I enjoyed so much, but also I was incredibly proud of because they were just so incredibly well done. And Watchmen, I mean, my God, I mean, that shined a light on part of our history that most people had never even heard of, which was shocking, and including myself. And it just was, I don't know. Although I got that one because Sigourney Weaver turned it down. So thank you, Sigourney.
Well, yeah.
That's how it goes.
That's right.
But it's like when I look at like your body of work is so insane and how talented you are. I mean, I had the pleasure of, 2 years. I wish it was longer to work with you. Oh my God. You know what I always think of is he's a vegetarian and you're like, it's salad. And I'm like, with chicken. And we go back and forth between her really trying to convince me that it's a vegetarian salad because it's salad, but it was chicken salad. And
Ranges.
It was the weird, and we just kept going and saying it over and over.
And you say, Mom, I told you he's a vegetarian. Why did you make chicken salad? I said, it's salad. She'd look at me and say, it's chicken salad. I said, I know, it's salad. He's a vegetarian. We just went back and forth till it was just nuts.
So we overstepped our boundaries at that point, but it was so much fun.
Way beyond the limits of Mars.
I had more fun working with you than I swear. Our scenes together were like, I loved the days that it's like, it's Gene scenes today, because I knew that I was going to be brought up as a human being and an actor and everything else because of you. But
also the first scene where you're still unconscious in the hospital. Wasn't I just crazy shit to you?
Yep.
Remember
Aunt Polly. She's trying to explain to me who my aunt is. Because if people don't know about the show, I play an amnesiac who wakes up from a coma and doesn't know who she is or who anyone in her life is. And you say something about this Aunt Polly, and I'm like, who? And you slowed it down and said it really loud, as if then my character was going to get it.
Yeah.
Aunt Polly. No.
Meanwhile, you didn't even know it was your mother.
I think that was all you. That was not scripted to make it like that slow and loud.
Like you were a deaf tourist.
Yes, exactly.
It sounds like it was really hard not to laugh all the time on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had fun. Then Jennifer Esposito and Melissa McCarthy, two of the funniest women ever. I mean, it was nuts.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
What a dream.
They were, yeah. And then and to know that like Melissa, her trajectory hadn't started yet. And that to know that I told her after seeing her in the Groundlings, I said, I can't wait for the world to get to see what you can do. And when they do, it's over. And we're done. And it was. And I want to ask her I want to borrow $3 or $4 million from her. That's all. So all my successful friends, I always ask, can I just have maybe 5 million?
I think you're pushing it with 5. 3 to 4 is more reasonable.
Oh my God.
4.250. But let me ask you, because everything you have done is so freaking amazing, but has there been anything that you thought was shit? I want to know,
not in recent
Sure
history.
not you.
No. But I was going to say earlier was that I had done a pilot several years ago And they were able to hold us forever. I mean, it went on for like 2 years, and I needed to make money. And I just thought and I had real issues with the script, and I talked to the producers, and we just dragged on and on and on. And then they finally, after like a year and a half, sent me the rewrite. And it seemed as if they'd gone out of their way to not only not address any of my concerns, but to actually do the opposite of what I wanted. And I just remember thinking, I know I should take this job, but I can't. I won't be able to look myself in the mirror. I can't. And I've never backed out of a job. Like, I mean, I've never, it's not, but it had been like almost 2 years. So I finally told my agents, I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. And the next day they called me and said, well, Noah Hawley wants you to come in and meet him and audition for Fargo. And I thought,
wow.
Okay.
Oh my God.
There's a beautiful example.
Yeah.
I was going to say something that, Jamie and I talk about too is boundaries too. And I didn't know how to have boundaries before I became disabled. And that freedom now of being able to say no more than I say yes and to protect myself is, that's such a hard thing for women in this industry to say no, right? I mean,
absolutely. Even in life, forget this business, but I mean, it's like we always want to be the ones that, are the team players and the good sports and the facilitators and make everything okay, don't rock the boat, and I'm still learning how to say no. And my kids are always after me saying, why did you say yes to that? Or why are you going to this thing? Well, I should because my friend, but they go, oh my God, then stop saying you're stressed,
Right. That's the thing too. And I think for me now, I have to if I'm asked about something, I have to look at A, B, C, D, and E. And if any of those things makes my stomach hurt, I have to say no. Because now it's like my quality of life is taken away from me, and I'm going to resent everybody there and everything that I'm doing. And even if I had to do something recently and it was really difficult to have to do because it was flying somewhere and stuff. And the good outweighed the bad, but most of the time I'm like, if it's giving me an ounce of stress in my mind, then no. But then I know it's like we can't say it because then we're whatever. Go ahead. Sorry.
But that's why I think for you, Christina, at least I can see it from the outside. And I'm sure you've seen this in your life, Jean. Like sometimes the shitty hands that you're dealt and the harder things that life can hand to you can be the gifts, though, in helping you find your power and your voice. And I hate that the way you and we and many people like us have to suffer physically, but I do feel like it's also an opportunity for us to really get empowered from it. And I have been witness to you being able to say no and have your boundaries and be able to stand up for yourself in a way that I don't know if you would have found without this, or maybe
I would have been pushing.
Yeah.
And if not for you, Jamie, but with Jeannie, I know that you've had, some stuff going on in your life and everything. And I've watched you push through things. And
well, yeah, that's the thing. When we both have health issues that are exacerbated by stress, and it's just not, you got to just say, something I was asked a question in an interview about what was my definition of happiness. And I remember there was a moment during the pandemic where I just thought, in this moment, I can't imagine being any happier. And I was at home with my family and I was working in my vegetable garden and the sun was shining and I didn't have anything I had to do, no phone calls I had to make, no emails I had to answer. And I'm just digging in the dirt, and it was just, and I had something that I was going to cook for dinner that I enjoyed. And I just thought, don't forget this feeling. Don't forget this feeling. And I have completely. And I haven't replicated it since, and it's not good because the days go by so fast.
I know. And now you've got,
But you were sitting in gratitude in that moment, though.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like when we feel like, don't forget this, you have to also remember, like, you were actually being very present though, and sitting in gratitude, and that can create another moment that's not exactly that. But I think that's the gift from that.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I'm, we've moved but I'm trying to figure out a way to make a little herb garden at least. Like, I don't have the room to have the kind of garden I had in the other house, but I'm going to put in an herb garden, and I'm very excited about that. Because I've always enjoyed doing things with my hands. I used to sew a lot. I used to do, when I was a kid, I always did everything with my dad. He taught me how to use tools, and I shingled the roof with him when I was 11 years old, and just that kind of stuff. I loved that. And I need to keep reminding myself of that.
I want you to remember that, because I know right now, you're the queen of everything right now, and but like there's, I know you, and I know that you feel a responsibility to push and go. I mean, I can't pick up my phone without seeing you on something right now because of Hacks 3rd season. Congratulations, my love.
Thank you.
I can't, but I'm like, I want you to go rest. Like, and I don't, knock on wood, because, I a long time ago when I was doing Sweet Charity, I said, I really need a break. And literally the next week I broke my foot. So let's not go there. But anyway, literally the next week. But so I'm very careful with my words when I say things, but I know that I'm going to cry. You've had a really hard few years.
Sweetie.
And I just want you to have those. I want you to have those moments again, Mama. I want you to sit and pick tomatoes, or I don't know, something.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know. Sorry, I should probably stop talking for a second.
Oh, sweet.
I just know you've had a rough time, and I love you so much. And
I love you too, honey, so much.
It can be easy to forget when you see all of the wonderful accolades and everything that is so well deserved that's happening, but that there's also human beings behind these beautiful pictures and these beautiful stories that we get to tell. And there's still a lot of life happening, and it's important to honor that.
Yeah, no, it's funny. One day, and this was not in reference to my late husband, but it was something else that was going on with one of my kids that I remember. And I read that somebody said online, oh my God, it must be so great to be Jean Smart. And on that day, I felt like I was in hell.
yeah.
I just thought this is just so ironic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's no reason people should know that. I mean, we're actors. They don't need to know about our private lives, and we don't want them to. But
I know.
It just
except for with us, with this podcast is basically us talking. Not for you.
Yeah,
but when
but
Jamie and I are just by ourselves, we talk.
Yeah, but you guys are also doing something wonderful for everybody who listens to you. I mean, you're helping people.
Yeah, but so that's why when we do have our friends on here, we never want you to feel like you have to say anything.
No.
And that's why I didn't say anything about whatever. But I did it for so many years. I took, everything that was going on in my life, and I didn't let anyone know. I mean, you were there when I had cancer. I was on Samantha Who when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I kept that from everybody, except for you and Kevin and Jen and Melissa, of course. But we do that. And then finally, at some point, it gets really exhausting, man, to like be holding, all these things. So I'm in the process of writing a book right now. And it's like, it's so freeing because I'm beholden to no one.
I'm so glad you did that.
It's just to like vomit out all the stuffs. But, I also feel like now I've done it. Now it's like, I've taken the veil and it's up, and I can't turn back and be like, well, that's private. I don't want to talk about that. That's just me.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. Cause I won't be probably working. I don't know, whatever.
Don't say that. We don't know.
I know.
That's right.
No.
Right.
But Jean, I know that you have talked about this, and that you had heart surgery in prior, and that you felt this obligation, and you felt terrible about holding up production. And then obviously the strike happened, and you guys, did you shoot your first season in COVID? Early COVID?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy.
But I wish I can understand why you felt the way you felt, but I wish you didn't have to feel a responsibility when you needed to take a moment to take care of yourself. And
I mean, it was, knowing that I was putting people out of work, and I'm thinking, well, if I'd taken better care of myself, maybe this wouldn't have happened and I wouldn't be doing this to everybody. And then of course I felt the guilt of having to tell my children who had lost their dad to a heart attack less than 2 years before. And I'm thinking I have to call my, kids and say, oh, guess what? I have to go to the hospital. I'm having heart surgery. I mean, I couldn't fathom making that phone call,
But it's like, that's Eugene. It's like, but it's also as me. It's like, you always feel this duty to everybody else. And then we push through. And the only person at the end of it that we hurt in the end of it is ourselves. So that's what Jamie's kind of taught me now, is like, where do you take your own power and go, you know what, I can't today. But, we come from the same, brain thinking of, nope, we have to make sure everybody else is okay.
Yeah.
And that can kind of tear us apart sometimes, but I don't know.
I was sort of a middle child. And so I was always the one of the 4 kids. I was the one who was like, oh, no, don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. Everything's going to make everything okay. And that was just my personality.
Support for MeSsy comes from Hollow Socks. Compression socks, they're either so uncomfortable you can't wear them for more than an hour. And even the comfortable ones, that means they're just not compressing or holding the compression like they're supposed to. Sometimes they can get stinky, there's no breathability, they feel like plastic bags on your feet, but not anymore, because that's where Hollow Socks comes in. These are the first compression socks that don't compromise comfort for functionality. Their performance compression socks are built for optimal recovery and those brutal travel days. I know I always have to wear compression socks when I travel. Otherwise, my feet get swollen, they get uncomfortable, my muscles get stiff. So when I slip these on for a long day and a long flight, my legs bounce back so much quicker. They're made from ultra soft baby alpaca fiber. Their compression socks are so comfortable. Honestly, it should be illegal. This is graduated compression, okay? So they're not squeezing your legs unevenly like most compression socks can do. They're snug at the ankle and they gently taper up the leg for balanced circulation. It helps speedy recovery. It helps fight travel fatigue. It also helps reduce soreness, swelling, and that dead leg feeling so you are ready for your adventures. For a limited time, Hollow Socks is having a buy 3, get 3 sale. Okay, because they've got everyday socks, they've got trail socks for hiking, they've got hunt socks for cold mornings, trade socks for those, 14-hour days in boots. Head to hollowsocks.com today to check it out. That's hollowsocks.com for up to 50% off your order. And after your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them, and you can support our show and tell them we sent you. This show is sponsored by Ridwell. Listen, you already know recycling matters. That's why you fill your curbside bin week after week. But did you know that only about 21% of recyclable material is actually captured and recycled? Ridwell is changing that by making it possible to recycle more stuff your curbside bin doesn't take. Think about all those, plastic bags, the bubble wrap, the plastic mailers piling up at home. Well, Ridwell recycles them through easy doorstep pickups or mail-in kits that work anywhere in the U.S. I think the biggest reason why more stuff isn't recycled is contamination. When people try to recycle stuff that's, too dirty or put the wrong stuff in the wrong bin, about 25% of those materials that go to recycling centers end up in landfills for this reason. But with Ridwell, you're putting materials in their own bags so they stay clean, they're separated, and this way 97% of what you give Ridwell is actually recycled. You can even see exactly where it all goes on their website. Listen, especially during the holidays, we have a lot of junk that's piling up. We're wanting to make room for the new. Ridwell can help you keep your waste low even during the holidays. I feel like I'm doing something that goes beyond regular recycling, and it feels so good. And sometimes when I put my stuff in the regular recycling bin, I just wonder what actually happens to it. But with Ridwell, I don't have to worry. Ridwell doesn't just say they recycle, they actually do. I love seeing where everything ends up. It makes all the plastic and packaging feel less hopeless, and it's easy. I fill the Ridwell bags, I set them on my porch, they pick them up every 2 weeks. I love seeing so much stuff disappear, knowing it actually will be recycled. It has been such an easy, hopeful thing to add to my routine and now yours. So if you want to try it, go to ridwell.com/messy to get $10 off your first pickup or mailing kit. That's ridwell.com/messy, because sometimes the best way to do more is to just start with something small that you know makes a difference.
This person is my mom. She's my mommy. I spent more time with this woman than I did my own mother, and my mom knows that. It's okay. Nance, we're all good here. But this is my mom, my friend, my mentor, my safety net, Katey Sagal. Now you talk, because now I'm going to cry.
Oh, my Christina. Oh, I'm so glad to be here.
I was telling Christina earlier that I had the beautiful opportunity on MeSsy in our early days to have a conversation with Edie Falco, who was my mama in very many ways. And having this opportunity to reflect back on a very innocent and specific time in our lives and what our impressions were of each other and what our perspectives were of each other, and sort of then seeing how we've grown and what we've been through. And it was just, I felt like a really wonderful opportunity, not to force that on the two of you, but I, as somebody that is such a fan of you both and was Married with Children was like my show with my older brothers that we watched. Like, I loved it. It was an important time in my life. You guys were saying things in a way that was humorous, that smart people that aren't smart weren't catching on of what you guys were really, exposing and talking about, which was amazing. But aside from that, I would just love to know, back then, what was your perspective of little Christina? What was she like back then?
Little Christina. I never thought of little Christina as little Christina. And that's sort of a mixed bag. I first of all, she had maturity beyond her years. So I would say in the old soul category, but there was also a part of her that I wished was able to be little, to be an innocent, like 16-year-old. Because what I learned about Christina, first of all, she had worked way more than I had worked. I had worked as a musician most of my life, and Married with Children was like my big, whatever. And there's Christina, who has been working since, I don't know, I think weren't you the Gerber baby, like 2 or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, little.
So there's Christina with all her experience. I mean, she definitely had some immature moments as a teenager, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But
I hope so.
Yes. Well, exactly, because I always felt very much like Christina grew up very quickly and had a sense of maturity about her that was beyond her years. And like I said, there was part of me that felt like, oh, I want her to be a little girl too. And I think sometimes around me, she could feel that way. And she was, let's see, Christina, and I also thought that Christina was extremely bright, very smart, playing Kelly Bundy, who was like not the brightest bulb, but she, very bright, very funny, very, what would I say, nurturing with David. I mean, I thought she really took care of David. And, I mean, there's so many things on and on. I love Christina. And, I watched her have all the bad boyfriends and, sort of know they were the bad boyfriends, but, kind of work her way through it. I remember Ed and I both not wanting to get involved, but being like, oh man, here's this one.
Yeah.
So, those are some of my impressions. I can be more specific, but
no, you don't have to. I was thinking, because for me, you were just you were a safe space for me. And I know you were like newly in the game of what in personal life, right?
Oh, newly sober. I was newly sober. I was 4 months sober when I got that job.
4 months sober. And what made you so comforting to me is that you had lived. You had lived a lot of life, and a lot of scarring and things had taken place. And now you were on that side of strength. And I needed that. I needed that so badly in my life, was a stable person. And you were that stability to me always. I always knew if I came to you with something or I cried that you would comfort me, that I'd feel safe.
Oh, honey. Yeah. Well, a lot of that, it's so interesting because I was so new to my own inner journey, because I was new to my own recovery journey. But along with that, I was learning very rapidly how to be honest with myself and to how important that is for all of us to be that way. And I did have that sense that there was nobody really for you to, I guess what I'm saying is I became very forthright with my journey, which I think opens the door for other people, i.e. you, Chrissy, to be forthright with yours. And, as you're saying, I provided a safe space for you, you were also providing that for me, because I was learning so much about myself as a person that you would think would be a mature person. I started using drugs and alcohol when I was really young, when I was 15. So when I got sober, it was almost like I was 15. So I felt like, I had sort of a youthful, I could relate to you. I could absolutely relate to the pieces of you. And so I want to say that the safety you were feeling was also the umbrella of recovery. That's kind of what you were feeling, because that was the umbrella around me. And and I was terrified. When I got to that job, you guys had all worked. I mean, I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, whoa.
Wow.
And
Because you
yet
had
at the
just
same
done
time, she was
singing
so
before that?
she was so confident. That's the other thing though, Katey, like you'd never
Full of
know it
shit.
because full of shit. But it was like, I remember the first day I met you. You were wearing these jeans, the way you looked in these jeans, and this white t-shirt. It was tucked in, and your body, like everything about you was just cool. Like I was like, she is fucking cool and knows who she is. And damn, I want to be her when I grow up. So,
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh.
And I was truly doing the fake it till you make it. I mean, I was absolutely, it's kind of why I think sometimes I'm an actor, because I mean, it's a combination of knowing how to, just fake your way through shit and just, I've learned so much about walking through fear and, being able to manage myself in very small small increments so that I can walk through fear. So I think, I was serious into one day at a time at that point. I mean, I am still. However, that was a new process for me. So I was able to really show up, in small increments. But inside, I was nervous.
But I feel like the only way to ever get anywhere is fake it till you make it, right? Because I think once you have an idea of a better way or an easier way or a more forgiving for yourself and graceful way, like you just have to fake it till you make it till you get there. And I think it was, how many years was the show? Was Married with Children?
11 years.
11, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what a beautiful gift to have I can imagine. Did the show feel like a safe place while you explored things for yourself?
Well, it did for me. I mean, I'm sure we all had different experiences. I mean, I had my children while I was on that show. I had, an unfortunate stillbirth child while I was on that show. It was really, and, our bosses, particularly Ron Levitt, made it so safe and comfortable for me to be able to, have my real life. I got married. No, I don't know if I actually married him. I had babies, but I don't know if I'd gotten, I think I got married. Christina was
Wait,
Let's see.
Did
No, I
you?
did. I think I ran off to Nashville and married
Yeah,
Jack.
you did something secret-y.
Yeah, I did it secretly.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so for me, it was very safe. I felt, it's like in what we do to have a series, it's kind of like a 9 to 5. I mean, it's the closest we ever get to that.
Yeah.
And, most people in their careers, they have sort of a linear path. We as actors don't have that. We're just sort of nuts a little bit, and I'm not sure what Christina's feeling about all that is, but I think she felt pretty safe over there
I
with some
felt
of us.
safe with some people.
Yeah.
You and Eddie obviously were very important to me, but Ed and I had our moments where through the years where I was on a very spiritual path and I didn't like negative, like his humor was a little too much for me, where I was just a little bit full of my spiritual journey up my own ass. Anyway,
It was sweet.
now I am him.
Now you are a full edgy asshole at
Yes.
times.
Yes, very,
Yes.
very much so.
Support for MeSsy comes from Cozy Earth. Have you ever given a gift that instantly becomes someone's favorite and then they can't stop using it and now they are gifting it to everybody else in their lives? That's Cozy Earth. I'm talking about their sheets, their pajamas, or the famous bubble cuddle blanket. It is literally creating joy beyond our Christmas morning. Everything from Cozy Earth is pretty much the softest thing you'll ever feel on your body. That's why literally the name Cozy is in the title. I've been using their sheets for a decade. And then when I discovered their pajamas, I can't put anything else on my body. And then this bubble cuddle blanket, you'll never get off the couch. By the way, if you're not convinced by my glorious sales pitch right now, they have a 100-night sleep trial. So listen, you can try them out. You can try these sheets out that I've been using, like I said, for over a decade. And if you don't love them, you can return them hassle-free. But trust me, you're not going to want to. They also have a 10-year warranty because once you feel this level of comfort, you'll want it to last a decade. And Black Friday has come early at Cozy Earth. So right now you can stock with my code MeSsy on the top of their site-wide sale, giving you up to 40% off in savings. That's CozyEarth.com, code MeSsy for up to 40% off in savings. These deals won't last, so start your holiday shopping today. And if you get a post-purchase survey, be sure to mention you heard about Cozy Earth right here at MeSsy. Support for MeSsy comes from Honeylove. I love Honeylove. I have loved their bras. I have loved their shapewear for years now. And listen, we all know this season, we're having all those holiday parties coming up. We want to wear those dresses. We want to be cozy for long travel days or family dinners, but we want to feel confident and comfortable. So, how are you going to do that? Well, with the most comfortable and supportive bras on the market for all shapes and boob sizes, Honeylove. They have supportive bras for small boobs that you don't have to keep pulling down, and they also have supportive ones for bigger sizes. I sometimes forget I have a bra on when I'm wearing my Honeylove bras. A holiday outfit truly needs to start with the right foundation. And so Honeylove's bras and shapewear give you the comfort and confidence wherever you are going, whether it's a sparkly holiday party or needing a cozy night in with family. And the one bra in particular that I'm talking about is the new Cloud Embrace bra. It is the perfect treat yourself gift, by the way. It is a modern wireless t-shirt bra with sturdy, lightly padded foam cups that feel like a cloud against your skin. It is a wireless bra for people who love underwire. It literally sold out in days, so don't wait because this is a present to put under your tree or even in your own stocking. Honeylove is an independent female-founded brand. All their products are intelligently designed by women who actually wear them, including the founder, Betsy, who is highly involved in the development of each product. So treat yourself or someone you love to Honeylove this season. And right now you can save 20% off at honeylove.com/messy. Just use our exclusive link, honeylove.com/messy to grab your discount. And after your order, they'll ask where you heard about Honey Love, so please support our show and let them know we sent you. Celebrate the season feeling confident and comfortable with Honey Love.
What have been like some of those sources of like inspiration or strength that's given you the permission or guided you to be more authentic and be more honest? Like, what of those things that you've leaned on in your life to help you get there?
Well, I'm a person that for probably the first 30 years of my life didn't deal with shit. I medicated myself to where I didn't really deal with my emotion. Like my parents died. I had cancer in my 20s. I mean, a bunch of shit happened and I didn't really deal with it. And then, I stopped medicating myself and now I have no choice but to deal with it. And so I think that just the principles of the way not the way I have to, it's the way I choose to live my life. But in order to stay unafraid, to walk in faith, to be a person that, can look at the dark sides and really process them. I've learned this way that I live my life, which I think that's been the biggest inspiration because, the brave part of living a sober life is that, life's fucking terrifying and you got to look at it. And what I have found around community around all that is I know lots of people that have walked through everything I've walked through. So, the opposite of addiction is community. And so when I say I've learned so much from the people around me, everything that I've had to go through, divorce, death, blah, 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 losing this one, illness, all of it. There's somebody that's walked through that I am able to see how they did it. And for me, not being parented a lot, that's been really helpful, is to be able to have the humility to say, hey, I don't know how to do this. And you did it. How did you do that? So I think that I can't point to one major person. It's just a perception of life, I think, that I have embraced and had to embrace because I too have a life-threatening illness.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's how I look at it.
I was going to ask you what music played a part. What part did that play for you? Because and I'm going to go on record, everyone, if you can find anything with Katey singing, you'll understand my statement. One of my favorite singers ever on the planet, and has been since I was a kid. So, and now I'm old.
Well, music became like my best friend as a kid. I had no real friends. I was kind of weird, but I could sing and I could play the guitar, and and so it became kind of an identity for me. I remember going to Girl Scout meetings, and I was so I had such social anxiety. I would bring my guitar with me, and they'd make me sit out in the hallway, because I wasn't supposed to bring my guitar into the room. And so, it was it became so much of my identity, music, and I was good at it. So, it was kind of what I was, that's how I was going to live my life. I was just going to be a songwriter and a musician. And I had some pretty good success along the line. And that's how I identified myself. Did not want to be an actor, never wanted to be an actor because it's the family I came from. So I was no, not doing that. And, through my own self-sabotage, pretty much burned it down pretty much. I know this in hindsight. I didn't know it while it was going on, but you can't show up loaded on the gig. And, sometimes I would. And so, or anyway, there was lots of reasons that kind of crashed and burned, but it saved me as a young person. I remember when I was 13 and I'm banging on the piano, teaching myself to play the piano. And my parents just finally moved it into my room so that I could just bang on my piano and write songs. And it was really, it's an interesting thing though, because when you identify yourself with what you do, right? I'm only good because of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to relearn that I'm okay even if I don't do that, even if I don't entertain you, even if I don't be the best in the room, even if I don't, I'm still worthwhile. So at an early age, I really learned that my worth was around entertaining. It was just that got me a lot of friends. That got me, even at my grad night in high school, I didn't have a date. I was in the band. I was like, that's how I went to grad night. So, no, I love music. It's still a big part of my life.
It is.
Well, I'm trying to. Right now I have a new little project. I'm trying to put together a choir. That's my newest thing.
Wow.
cool.
Yeah,
I
because
love that.
I know, I love choral singing. So I usually have a band, but I'm just like, I don't want my name on it. I just want to be like a part of something. I don't want to
Mhm.
be the center of something. So,
You just want to
that-
do it because you love it.
I do. And then, I have to either find other people that want that, or I have to, find a way to subsidize them, which I can do too. So, because, I
Yeah.
lived a musician's life for many years, and it's really like, it's gig to gig. So
Right.
I don't want anybody. So I'm figuring all that out.
I
I was
love
going
that.
to ask you, you and I might have to have like personal time soon when you kind of come up for air or whatever, because, my kid's going through a lot and stuff. They're 13, 14. There's a lot going on. And she's like texted me from school, like, if I just had my piano here, I would be okay. But I want to come home. She just like needs it. She needs it so much. But it's the other side of it that me trying to kind of navigate this with her is quite frightening, to be honest, because there's a lot of turmoil there, but music is keeping her okay. It's like she's Katey, she never lets you hear her sing. She finally sent me a video with like, she put an emoji over her face. I'll send it to you. I'm telling you right now, the kid is,
Got it.
she has the
Oh,
thing.
wow.
Playing guitar and
Wow.
singing Billie Eilish songs, like she's got it. And but it's the only thing that she feels joy in. And I don't want that for her.
Is there a music department at school?
Yeah, she's in the chorus at school.
Okay,
She just
good.
had a chorus concert, and they gave her the solo. She got the solo, and stuff like that. So like, there's cool stuff happening, but it's like everything else is chaos.
I know. Well,
I don't know what to do. But maybe we'll just talk about this.
yeah, maybe we'll just talk about it. But that's great. Music is such a great gift to have.
Yeah.
So that's the really good news of that. But yeah, it can be, I understand. Well, she's probably got social anxiety. I mean, I do.
Oh, she's got all the things.
Yeah, she
all
has
the
all the
things.
things.
She has all the things. She has the bucket list of things. Not bucket list, that's a terrible thing. She's got the checklist of all the things.
The checklist of all
Sure.
those things. Yeah.
The normal
Mhm.
things. Yeah.
This is what my daughter, my youngest daughter had some stuff growing up, just, maturity stuff. And her doctor would always tell me the brain is pliable. In other words, as we get older, I don't think we're like a real human till we're what, 25, 26?
I think it's 25, 26 before the brain
Something like
you
that
can rent a car.
Right. But your brain at the same time is also changing. Like, shit's always changing. I mean, if I showed you my Esme now, my 18-year-old, as compared to 10 years ago when she was having some problems, it's like night and day. And we could not be more proud of her and happy for who she is, and getting into colleges, like a bunch of them, and really proud of her schoolwork. I mean, all kind of stuff that, when you have a kid that's got a little bit of stuff or whatever, you're sort of like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
how's this going to work? But the brain is pliable. And I always
It
have
is.
held on to that we change a lot, So whatever they're going through at whatever age, because you guys know you have kids. I mean, they change every 6 months, at least when they're little, they do. They're just like,
Oh.
just when you think you got it down, they're different.
Yeah.
Every time. Every single time.
Yeah.
You wanna pull
so I
a
pull
card?
a little card. Yep. A man should never be ashamed to own that he is wrong, which is but saying, in other words, that he is wiser today than he was yesterday.
100% what we
There we
talked
go.
about.
It is
We talked
100% what we talked about. I
I
love
know.
that.
I do too. I love that too. That's great, you guys.
Yay.
So
It
fun.
was so great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I love you,
so
Katey.
much.
I love you, my Christina.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is.
This show is executive produced by Christina Applegate, Jamie-Lynn Sigler, and Allison Bresnick. Our audio engineer is Josh Windisch.
And if you want to show us some love, don't forget to leave the show a rating or review. Hi, it's Jamie. Thanks for listening. I just want to let you know I am a paid spokesperson for Novartis, but this podcast is independent from my collaboration with Novartis.